Michael Mann's 1995 masterpiece Heat, starring Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, includes the first ever on-screen back and forth between the screen legends. It's one of my favourite scenes of all time, and in this video I'm going to explain why it's still legendary. Heat tells the story of veteran thief Neil McCauley and the obsessive cop on his case, Vincent Hanna. McCauley is planning one last score, and Hanna is hoping to catch him red-handed. The movie also stars Val Kilmer and Tom Sizemore, and it's one of the best crime thrillers of the 90s, and possibly one of the best films of all time. The electricity and authenticity of Heat is unmatched to this day. It's one of the most intense cat and mouse chase films ever, and an uncompromising look at urban warfare between cops and criminals on the streets of Los Angeles. The scene we are talking about takes place in a simple coffee shop, in a break between all the chaos. Cat and mouse come face to face and have an intense verbal showdown that is nerve-wracking, but at the same time also very human. I can't imagine being in the cinema in 1995. All those people who had grown up watching Robert De Niro and Al Pacino dominate cinema in separate films, finally they were there, in this intimate setting, back and forth. People must have been glued to the screen. While this scene is very quiet, it also doesn't lose the underlying tension running through Heat. It instead leaves it simmering under the surface, giving you a chance to breathe and get invested in the plight of both these men. This scene is a glorious example of two characters feeling each other out. And what's so incredible is while it's only a short scene, you can literally witness acting magic as the two men honestly feel like they're warming up at the start. The scene builds and builds to such a satisfying conclusion. Al Pacino has confirmed the scene was not actually rehearsed, to drive home the unfamiliarity of the two characters and make it more genuine. So both characters respect each other enough to let down their defences a bit, and it's interesting to see the separation between the two men slowly being taken away. They end up talking almost like friends, and there's an acknowledgement that they are both two sides of the same coin, trapped in the urban prison of Los Angeles and both chained to their fate. The dialogue is sharp and precise and very honest, and the two actors deliver their lines with such conviction you can feel the sincerity. For these few minutes, this is probably the most honest these two characters have ever been with anyone in their lives. They've finally met someone who understands them, just from the completely different side of the spectrum. But isn't that different? It's such a fascinating dichotomy.
My life? No, my life. No, my life's a disaster zone. I got a stepdaughter so fucked up because her real father's this large type asshole. I got a wife. We're passing each other on the downslope of a marriage, my third. Because I spend all my time chasing guys like you around the block. That's my life.
These two actors are the kings of facial expressions, little gestures, body language. De Niro and Pacino both use physicality to convey the emotion of the scene. The two actors lean in when they want to emphasise a point, and pull back when they are feeling vulnerable or defensive. The eye contact is of course important, as both men want to make the other understand how serious they are about what they're saying and how much they stand by it. Although there are moments where both look away, letting the conversation breathe and making it clear the goal isn't just to intimidate the other, it is to have a real conversation. That's what's so fascinating about this scene. It's not supposed to be badass guys intimidating the other. It's trying to find that common ground that they both know is there, but also let the other know that neither of them are going to back down despite this understanding. Because of the all-encompassing pressure of the lives that these two lead, they probably get to know each other here better than many people would in a lifetime, because the layers are peeled back and everything is laid out on the table, the coffee table in this case. One of my favourite moments is where the two men share a warm smile of respect, and they clearly don't hate each other, because of course Vincent isn't just a conventional hero and Neil a regular villain. There are interesting grey areas on display. The men know that they can respect each other as human beings because Neil's path of crime isn't pure evil, and Vincent's police work and life isn't pure good.
I don't know how to do anything else.
Neither do I.
I don't much want to either.
Neither do I.
Of course, there's that fantastic line where Vincent looks right in Neil's eyes and lets him know if it comes to it, he will not think twice.
And now that we've been face to face, if I'm there and I gotta put you away, I won't like it. But I'll tell you, if it's between you and some poor bastard whose wife you're gonna turn into a widow, brother, you are going down.
That line is so badass, delivered so cool and calm and matter of fact. These two actors don't need to have a scene where they scream and shout at each other to get the point across. These cold one-liners are enough to fill the audience with excitement and anticipation. I love the brief exchange they have about their loved ones too, as De Niro delivers that cold line about needing to be able to walk away at any time. Vincent actually lives by that rule too, but is not brave enough to admit it. In regards to his wife, Vincent is choosing daily to essentially walk away from her by spending his life obsessing over his job and constantly chasing people like Neil. So while Vincent is overcome by Neil's honesty that he would walk away from his partner, he is perhaps in denial that he is doing the exact same thing. But what's interesting too is that while Neil is the one who says he lives by that discipline, he's actually the character in the film who is ready to leave the life behind after his last score for a woman. And funnily enough, the so-called good guy in Vincent is not willing to. In fact, he loses his wife later on because of a tragic event, and yet he still goes back to the life full force. It's intriguing that it would be that way around. And in this city that is looming over both these men, Neil's decision to do that ends up being his downfall. Heat sends the message that in this city, these characters need to remain in the filth knee deep, and if they try and escape, they will be cursed. Michael Mann's direction in the scene is so effective. He positions the camera at eye level, which creates a sense of intimacy between the two characters. The coffee cups on the table are a visual metaphor for the relationship between the two men. They're both drinking from the same cup, which symbolises their shared experiences and similarities. Even the coffee shop itself is an important element in the scene. It's a public space, thus creating a sense of vulnerability for both characters. They are exposed, and especially in the case of Neil, he is out of hiding, sitting down with a cop in full view of the world. It's a unique situation for him, despite the place being such a normal setting for everyone else living regular lives. Sound is a powerful part of the scene too. We hear the bustle and commotion in the coffee shop, as well as the busy street outside. Chaos and regular life is taking place, but at the same time the world has stopped for these two men. As the scene goes on, the background noise slowly decreases and becomes more radio static. Slowly but surely things feel quiet and you can cut the tension with a knife. For these few minutes, the rest of the world becomes unimportant for these two men, and this conversation is their entire lives. What do you guys think of this incredible and iconic scene in Heat? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think of Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Heat in general? One day I probably will do a video about the full movie because it's such a stunning piece of work. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button and also consider subscribing, as we talk about gangster and crime films all the time on this channel and analyse scenes and films just like this. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.